Hello and welcome to Staying Up with Cammie and Taryn. I'm Cammie.
And I'm Taryn. And every night we get to have a sleepover. Most nights, actually, not
Not
tonight.
tonight.
We get to have a sleepover, but every week we invite you to join us. So thank you for staying up.
I feel
As you
like
can
we're on
tell,
a date.
as you can tell, we're not in the same place at this
Or, well,
moment.
most people are probably listening, so they have no idea.
Oh, fucking duh. Okay, yeah, you can't tell. But if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you can see that I
We're having
have,
a very important Zoom meeting.
we're on Zoom. I have beautiful architecture behind me. Cammie
Yeah,
has
it's
our
pretty cool. Gorge back there.
beautiful couch behind her. Um, and it actually feels kind of fun. It's like a different sort of sleepover where we're like, this is like the
Yeah,
long distance dating sleepover
exactly.
vibes.
I'm
Yeah.
excited because when you're away, I feel like we barely get to speak. So
Yeah.
now I have an excuse to I feel like normally we wouldn't have a date while you're away. And now selfishly, I'm like, I get to have a date night.
It's cute. I'm
Hi,
having fun already.
baby. How was
Hi,
your
hun.
day? What'd
Bro,
you
I'm
do today?
zonked. I'm a
Are
little
you?
zonk zonk. Yeah.
Oh,
So
Bob.
I'm up in San Francisco for a work retreat.
I know.
I was just telling others.
This is our
And
date.
Cammie was here for like the weekend basically and flew home this morning.
Hmm.
It's Monday and man, I just my social clock or like my social
Battery
what's battery is just I
at an
really
all-time
give it
low.
my all. I really give it my all out there when I meet people, say hi, do my hellos, but I'm
Baby,
like
this was like not even day one. This was day zero for your work thing.
day one was basically day one. Today
Oh,
was yeah. So basically I'm here for the week for 3 days. We're doing like camp for work, which is like mostly fun stuff, but also some work stuff. And everybody from every office that we have, like from Paris, Chicago, is like all flying to San Francisco. So we're all here. It's awesome. It kicks off tomorrow, but a lot of people flew in today. And I went into the office today and it was awesome. So fun to meet people. Always shocking to see people's heights. You just never
that's
know how tall
such a funny thing.
it was just shocking. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, just shocking. And a lot of people were like, "Whoa, you're way taller than I thought you were gonna be." Um,
Especially because like this is kind of how you're seeing them all the time. It's not like the
yeah,
internet where you're seeing full body pictures or like
yeah,
even a TikTok, you can like see more of someone's body. Like you're getting this, and normally you guys are closer.
yeah,
So
yeah. You're never seeing
weird.
like my legs or whatever.
That
So anyway,
sucks for them.
today I'm yawning.
You're
Today
like,
was
I'm done.
um really fun. We use this app where you get to choose what you want for lunch, and you
So
get to
I
choose
wish we
from
had that
like
here.
I know you choose from like 7 restaurants and then you have a budget and then they text you when it's there and they're like, your
So
lunch is in cubby A19 and then you go to it. And I got soup dumplings from my favorite dumpling place in San Francisco. So that was
dumpling time.
awesome.
Is that what it's called?
Yes. Good memory, honey.
Amazing.
So I got my little dumplings. I
Cute.
worked, I chatted, I scooted around in my rolly chair.
Oh,
Um, and then the big crescendo, which I haven't even told you about.
I haven't heard
Um,
anything yet.
Oh yeah, that's true. Was so after work, a small group was like, "Well, we should all like go get drinks or hang or do something, right?" And
Naturally.
so there were 4 of us. We were really close to Hayes Valley, which is my favorite place in San Francisco. So we walked to Anina, that outdoor bar that I
Mhm.
love. Um, and we get there and I text Kelsey and I'm like, "Yo, we all walked to Anina," and she's like, "Oh, all the leadership team is going there too." And I was like,
Ooh,
"Oh."
you
And I
want
was like,
that?
well, it's great. It's fine. But
Okay.
it was more so like, oh, does it look lame that we're already here, like
Yeah.
crashing the leadership team dinner?
Yeah.
But instead, the guy at the bar was like, oh, are you with the big reservation? And I was like, oh, well, it's our team, but it's not us, but it's also kind of us, whatever.
You're
And
like,
he's like,
no.
I'll just put your
Yes.
drinks on the tab. And we were like, okay.
What? Are you
And
allowed to do
then,
that?
well, yeah. So then he was like, we'll figure it out when they get here. And then when Kelsey got there with the whole leadership team, she was
It was
like,
like $500
yeah,
tab.
absolutely. No, no,
Oh
no. She was
my
like,
God,
absolutely put your drinks on the
amazing.
tab. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, it's totally fine. So I mean, no one went
I
crazy.
mean, I
There were
guess
four
that
of
makes
us. Like,
sense. It's like you guys are there for the trip. You're like bonding with your team. That's kind of the point.
Yeah. And then I got my souvla salad and I brought it back
Yum.
there and I ate it and I had nice, deep conversation, some heart to hearts. We talked all about
Cute.
all sorts of divorce, soulmates.
Oh,
It was, yeah, it
bring
was
them on the
really,
pod.
yeah, seriously, it was really special. But as you
Oh,
can
that's
tell, if
sweet.
you're watching, my eyes are a little heavy and I'm a little like,
It's feeling a little drained. It's so
yeah.
funny. The adding it to their tab just reminded me. Taryn and I have been working to combine our finances and figure out like
Mm-hmm.
what card, what goes on, and how best to split it. So I have a guy. I have a guy who
I got a guy.
basically is like financial advisor and like tells me what to do and does my taxes and all that. He's my business manager. But we've just like recently figured out the split for everything, and certain things we want to keep on my card because I can write certain things off because I own a business.
Mm-hmm.
And Taryn sounds like David from Schitt's Creek. Like anytime we use my card now, she thinks it's free. One, because she doesn't feel like it's her money because she's not seeing this money come in or
Yeah,
out.
I don't see it.
And then just because I said that because he could write off a lot of it, she's like, it's a write off. It's free. Like, that's not how that works, babe.
I
And she
just don't
doesn't want to,
understand it.
you don't want to understand it, is the real thing.
No,
You're
it's like I get
enjoying
it. What?
thinking it's great.
We just don't pay taxes on it.
Kind of, not really. So basically, when you own a business, you have expenses. So you're not going
Yes.
to get taxed on that. Like, I have to pay certain things to keep my business going. So I'm not going into not like your business is going to write off those drinks because that is technically a business expense, getting you all up there, getting you all together, just like
Why
they
is that
do
a
for,
business expense? That's just
well, different
something we
businesses have,
don't need to do.
well, I wouldn't say that. The IRS will be coming for you. They'll be knocking.
Well,
Different
I don't know if
businesses
they expense shit
are
like this, but
you trying not to get in trouble. Like they
I
basically
don't know
different. No,
anything.
you can like if you send a client, let's say your company sends you flowers for your birthday, they can write that off.
Mhm.
It's like part of it. It's morale of the company. Drinks as well. Well, this doesn't typically happen my way. It's normally the other way. But if I take somebody from a brand I want to work with to lunch to hear about their company, and again, normally then they would be taking me to lunch, I would write that off. They would write that off, whatever, because that's a meeting. Like it's part of how it
This shit
keeps your
is
business
so
going.
dumb. This shit is so dumb. It's everybody being like this is some made up house rules
Well,
situation.
that's why it's so scary because one, my career is really scary because there are actually not roles yet for
Yeah.
influencers. So we're
Yeah.
all just doing our best trying to like be smart about it right off like but it's hard. There's so much gray area. It's really confusing. And you want to write stuff off that is a business expense and to you it's a
Yeah.
business expense. But at the end of the day, you're like, is the IRS going to see this as a business expense or are they going to see stuff that is and I'm not writing it off and I'm wasting money and spending more on taxes.
Mm.
It's insane. And that's why companies like Amazon don't pay taxes. They have found enough fucking loopholes. They don't pay taxes, which is fucking insane and ridiculous. And the really bad thing I think with taxes is that it's the wealthy people who know the loopholes who can hire the right the accountants to figure it out and get them out of
Hmm.
it and pay less. Like I still don't even fully understand taxes. I'm still learning about it. You obviously don't understand. And but we're the ones who go, we're so scared because we also can't afford it if the IRS goes, no, you messed
Yeah,
up because we're not meaning
I
to.
got that.
But it's like, here, figure this out, even though we never taught you how to do it. And if you get it wrong, you may get all of your things taken away from you and you might go to jail. It's like, what?
I
It's so
guess I just
scary.
so do I get to write it off because if I own a business, then I am giving back to the economy, and so I shouldn't have
Mm,
to.
it's not really about the economy. It's that
I'm giving
you,
back to the people or something,
no,
right?
it's not about giving back to anybody. Oh, sorry, I knocked my camera down. It's
Why
not
wouldn't
about
everybody just own a business then?
you can't, but also again, it's not about giving money back because you can't own a business and then work your corporate job an expense anything because you're working for the corporation. They're the ones who should be supplying all your needs. That's why, like, when you started working from home, they would give you a stipend to pay for like office supplies at home, computers, because you were no longer using their supplies at work. And it seems really nice that they're doing that.
Yeah, it
But
does.
it also, and it is great that they're doing that. But also, if they had no expenses anymore, which not that they would have none, but their taxes would be higher. Like they want to have more
No, but what
expenses to
is the
offset that.
government's case for giving you a tax write-off for you just having a
It's
business?
it's not, you don't get it for just having a business. There's no case for it. It's that, so let's say somebody makes $50,000. But in order to make that $50,000, they're not just going and clocking in and giving their time and then being paid and paying certain taxes and getting money back. They are having to rent office space, get order supplies. So that income, it may look like they made $50,000, but once they did all the stuff to actually create their business and keep it running and moving and hiring people and whatever it may be, they only made $10,000. So if they then only made
Mm-hmm.
$10,000, but they were taxed on $50,000, let's say the tax on $50,000 is $20,000, but they only had made $10,000. How are they paying the $20,000 in taxes? They didn't
But
even
isn't that just
actually
your
make that.
fault for not figuring out the
No,
right
no,
like
not at all.
margins or whatever
But
for
what could be
like
the margins if you're not making, it's profit. It's not just flat out what income you've brought in. Just like think about like when
you're
you
so
make,
smart. This is smart.
I own a business, baby.
Oh, I just mean like I like this is stuff I don't know this. I truly don't understand this. Like I'm not playing it up for a bit. I'm not
No, I know
whatever.
you're
I like
not.
no, I know, but I'm just saying to all of our girlies that are here at this slumber party that like I am baffled that you know this stuff, that you know what you're talking about right now.
But it's also not smart to not know these things because we don't learn these things until we have to. And I think that's really where the problems lie, where it's like it is so daunting starting your own business because you just
Yeah.
don't understand this. And then you don't know it until you have to deal with it. And maybe it wasn't the right decision to start because it's so daunting. And I like even paying somebody to figure this out and teach me these things or explain these things or work with people is so expensive that I had to be successful before I could even afford that. So I think it like, the rich just keep getting richer situation.
Bitch, you're the rich in this situation, aren't you?
But yeah, but I wasn't. Like, I'm lucky that I was able to like teach myself things or find out or have people to advise me on things. But like, I didn't just have this. I didn't grow up getting to learn this, but a lot of kids do from their parents who own companies and are very privileged and wealthy. So it's like it's hard. I'm sorry your parents didn't teach you.
I mean, I guess like at the end of the
I
day,
had to, sorry.
it's fine. This is just me. This is privilege that I don't have to know any of this stuff. Is the honest truth. Is that like
For sure.
I've never had to think about any of this. I'm just like bopping through life and it's all working out.
Yeah, but it also it's like
It's kind of fucked up.
it's a privilege that you don't have to, but also that could deter you from creating your own business because you're like, I don't fucking know how this works and it's too scary and daunting and I don't know how to
I
where
mean,
to
I would
even
just
start.
pay a guy too. Like how you pay a guy, I would just pay a guy. I mean, I pay a
Oh
guy
yeah.
to do my taxes and when I do my
Your tax,
freelance stuff,
you can do your own taxes. They're so simple.
I'm not doing my own taxes. But
Okay.
when I have my like freelance stuff, he like helps me write stuff off. He
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you really can because you have expenses. So even though it says you made X amount, you only profited
That is
the margin
so
of that.
dumb. It's like fake. It's all fake.
It's
This is so,
not.
but it also is like, this is so dumb that we're all being like,
No, tax
I,
write-offs are incredibly important and
I
great.
know that they're
That's not the
important.
fake
I'm
part.
just,
The taxes are the fake part. The like made up amount we take from people and that it just screws the little people is what's fucking crazy.
look, I agree with you, clearly. It's just that I think it's cute that someone's like, let's figure out how to help people make money and then they'll have to pay taxes on the money that they make, but then certain people will get a special little special deduction.
It's
If
not. It's no, you're seeing it wrong. It's not
okay.
certain people. It's the people who have expenses for their company. Other people
But you
don't
can
have
just say
expenses.
anything's an expense. I don't
No, you
get it.
can't. You can't do that. You can't just say anything. The IRS will be like, "What?
But okay,
How
but
is
a
that?"
lot
Oh, think about everything. What's the movie called?
everything
Everywhere.
everywhere all at once.
Yeah, think about that
Yes.
when they're going in and trying to explain. And she has like the karaoke machine, and they're like, "Your hobbies are not your business. You cannot write this off."
But I feel like that's the exact type of thing that people would write off and that it would be fine. Where you'd be like, oh, it's for team building. It's for music, for ambiance, for the business. It's for blah, blah, blah. It's like, why
Depends
did
what
it
kind of
not work
business
for
you
her?
have because she owned a laundromat. But
You need music in the laundromat.
I mean, you should have been in the room with her when she was getting audited and you could have helped her out.
You know what
Yeah,
job I would love?
it's gray area and everyone's trying their best to figure it out so that they're paying the lease and taxes but not getting in trouble. And it's a mess and it's such a silly system. You're correct. Go ahead.
Hmm. I was gonna say, you know what job I would love?
What?
Is like if you had to be in front of like the tax guy, the tax collector guy or
Yeah.
whatever, and like
Tax collector
you
guy.
had to like battle for people's like to help them write stuff off.
I would be so scared if that was your job. I'd be so scared for all of those
Bro, no,
people.
give me okay, I own a laundromat. Give me an expense. Tell me something that I expensed that I shouldn't have expensed.
Um, okay, yeah, go ahead. The karaoke machine. Do it.
Oh my God. The businesses that do well on my street are businesses that have an added extra oomph. They're businesses that aren't just delivering clean laundry, they're delivering community, they're delivering joy. And so what I've found is that every laundromat on my street
Mhm.
has music. My building doesn't allow for music, but there is a workaround where if I have a speaker pointing in a certain direction and it is more singing than it is bass, then and only then can I have my music playing. So, this karaoke machine, while you might see it as an actual karaoke machine, is actually just a way for me to give the patrons of my establishment a
Mm.
little bit of joy back.
Mm. Miss Arnold Scott, do you often like to use workarounds in situations of the law?
Look, you see workarounds. I see smarts, street smarts.
You're digging a hole, baby. No, that was great. And that's why you're a genius in marketing. But please
I
stay away
mean,
from the taxes.
I'm trust me. The last thing I'm doing is anything to do with our finances. I don't want it. I'm not doing that.
It is just crazy that like a lot of people are just out here guessing and hoping and wishing and praying for the best.
Everybody,
Most people.
except for you. You know what you're doing.
I think I have a pretty good grasp on it at this point.
Yeah,
I'm still always scared. I'm like, they're gonna do something wrong. And with my job, they could literally like decide the parameters of what is and isn't a tax write-off and things like I don't think they would ever do this, but like a camera, which is very clearly
mhm.
something that I need to do my job. They could all of a sudden be like, nope. And then I don't know for sure how it works, if it would be like moving forward, or if they would go back through all of the years I've had a business and be like, you expense it here and here and here, and I need to pay taxes on those. I don't know.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Did you have
Wow, this
an
is very informative.
Did you have an okay day without me?
Yeah, I was so sad to leave you. I was like
You were really sad.
nearly
I
in
was really
tears.
surprised and I thought it was very cute.
I was really sad because I was really sick this weekend.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like I really needed this weekend away and I wanted it with you and I was like really looking forward to it. Um and it was just incredibly tainted and I finally felt better, like
And then
a
it was
lot
go
better
time.
this morning, honestly. And then it was like, okay, I gotta go. You know, I went
Yeah,
to
it was bad
bed so
timing.
early last night.
Dude, I was a sleepy bitch last night. I was out.
Theme of the episode, Taryn's a sleepy little bitch.
You know why I was so sleepy? Because we had
Why?
5 bottles of wine yesterday. It
Yeah. I was thinking that like
was crazy.
we did the wine flight before we met up with
Hmm.
people and that was like the most generous flight I've ever seen. That was just three
Yeah.
glasses of wine.
I
I
think
mean, I
it
guess
was
not.
like 1.5.
Okay, I guess that was normal, but it looked big. And then I don't know how many we had at the next place. I definitely paced myself a lot better at that
Yeah,
one.
I was going wild.
Yeah, I was just scared. I was like, at any minute, my stomach could go back into panic mode. So I
Yeah.
just like need to be ready. Um,
But I never felt drunk.
no, neither did I.
Or
Well,
maybe
we
I felt it,
walked
but I
a
never
lot.
like seemed it, I think is more the thing.
Yeah. Huh.
You
Yeah,
don't
you
agree.
didn't until you pass out during Succession last night. And then I was like, probably must be.
Well, I was just zonkers, man. And I'm also just eating like I've never eaten before. I feel like I'm just like every time I see food, I'm
going
like,
going
I have
for
to
it.
have all of it, every last bite.
Yeah. When it's good, it's like
Maybe
hard
I'm
not to.
growing.
Oh, you're gonna get taller.
Maybe I'll go through a growth spurt. I don't know.
I love you, dude.
I
So
love you
what's been on
too.
your mind this week, baby?
Dude, have you heard of Conor Bedard?
No.
Okay. I think
Wait,
you'll love
Connor,
this.
what?
Bedard. B-E
Dar.
Dard.
Bar. What?
B-E
Okay.
Dard.
B-E. Dard. Got it.
Bedard. Okay.
Bedard.
Okay.
Wow, I've been
I
so
just
excited to hear this. Taryn's been like, won't tell me this story that she's had for all the whole week. She's like, I want to save it for the pod. Let her rip,
so
baby.
okay. Okay. So this is sometimes I get scared of my brain where I like really focus on something and I can't stop thinking about it. And Conor Bedard has been
Hyperfixation.
the object of my like, I'm just thinking about him nonstop. Not in a hot way. He's 17.
Oh God.
I'm saying that's not what it is. You were
No,
looking at me
I know.
weird.
I know, but now I feel weird for even looking at you weird, but I didn't know.
No, he's young. He is apparently the
Apparently. Sorry.
apparently he is going to change hockey forever. This kid.
What is he up to?
They call him a
Conning?
franchise changing hockey player.
That feels like a
And
big statement.
okay, so the NHL draft is like in a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, if you don't care about sports, just care about this story. It's kind of cool. Um, the NHL draft is soon, and the worst teams go into a lottery. And then if you win the lottery, you get to pick the best player.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, everyone has agreed that Connor Bedard is the one that is going to go to the first team.
Okay.
And it was up against like the Ducks, and
Where's
I think
Connor from?
I'll get there.
Okay.
It's up against the Ducks, and I think I don't know, something else, Blackhawks or something. And the
I'm like,
Ducks
we
got
sucked this year. Give it to us.
the Ducks got second. So they basically missed getting this kid by like just luck.
Tough.
And now the Chicago Blackhawks have sold like 5 times more tickets than they've sold in literal years
Just people
just because they think that they will pick this kid. So
That's
this kid
insane.
is 17 years old, born and raised in Canada. Always good at hockey. Like everybody was like, he was kind of like a national treasure. Everybody knew of him, very similar to Sidney Crosby, like exact same energy and vibes.
Yeah.
When he was 14 years old, he was granted exceptional status, which meant that he could play in the like Canadian professional league, the highest level of Canadian hockey.
Yeah.
So he was so fucking good. Everybody is obsessed with this kid. And now, obviously, he's like going to be the quote unquote franchise changing player. But one of the coolest things that I heard in his story was that when he was growing up, like when he was little, he didn't want to do anything but play hockey. Like there's a story where his sister wanted to go to Hawaii and his family was like, hey, we're all going to go to Hawaii. And he was like, I'm not going. Like he was like 8. He's like, I'm not going. And they were like, why? And he's like, I can't be away from hockey for a week. I'm not doing it.
That's psycho.
And so he worked it out with his family that he brought all his hockey gear to Hawaii.
My God.
The lady that worked at the airport in
Hockey
Hawaii was
families
like,
are
I've
so
never
committed.
I know. The lady that there was a lady that worked at the airport in Hawaii and was like, I've never, ever seen hockey gear in this
Who's bringing their hockey
place
gear to Hawaii in this
and
place?
so while they're out there in Hawaui, he's skating, practicing. There's
just, like,
videos of him like
indoor
on the
rink somewhere?
No, like he brought roller skates
Got
so
it.
that he could just practice. So He's obviously really amazing, whatever.
You're
Then
actually not supposed to rollerblade before you skate. Maybe it's different when you're a figure skater because it messes up the way you move. Like it's not exactly the same as the blades
I
in
get
the
that.
yeah, but
I can
maybe
see
not with
that.
hockey skates.
I don't know.
Titties.
But point is he didn't even want his like little body to stop. He's like, I just
Yeah,
gotta
he's
keep
like,
going.
I gotta go, go, go.
So then he had this like nearly career ending issue where he something happened. He went to I don't know. He was playing a game and something happened and he like fucked up his arm, like his like main wrist, and he was out for 12 weeks.
Ooh.
And
As a kid or recent?
kid. So this is like right before he gets this exceptional status and is so
Yeah.
amazing. Um and he's out for 12 weeks and he refused to stop playing until his doctor was like, "Hey man, you're in the zone where if you keep fucking up your wrist, it's going to grow back wrong and you will definitely never play again." So then he every single day would play with only one hand in his house.
Oh,
So there's
kid's a freak of
videos of him
nature.
in his garage just like flailing the hockey stick using his body to push it, whatever.
Probably
So
really
he's
helpful.
yeah, so he's just using his top hand, and
Hmm.
the way that he did it, it would like pick the puck up a little bit and like have like some fling to it,
Yeah.
so that when he was finally healed, his dad was like he was a completely different player after that.
Like
Like
just even better.
so much better. And now
Insane.
he has this like perfect hit or this perfect whatever hockey shot that nobody else has that he got because of the way that he broke his wrist and just kept pushing through it, but
He
like
really
in a
flew through
safe-ish
that
way.
adversity.
Dude, and so now he's like this kid that is so fucking chill, 17 years old, is literally changing the NHL before he's even in it. And
Oh,
I
those
saw a
stories scare
video.
me so bad. I'm like, if they don't live up to the hype once they get there, I'm
He
just gonna
will.
hurt for them.
Like Wayne Gretzky called him and
Dude.
was like, he's like, I think it was Wayne Gretzky, unless he was unless it was somebody pranking me, which would be so embarrassing. But like, he's just such a kid. Like,
Oh,
it's the cutest thing ever. And so now he's going to be in the NHL, which will be sick. But like, literally
wow.
17 years old, and it's so cool that he hasn't even been here yet, and he's
Hmm.
already like the guy.
Yeah, we gotta go
Anyway,
see
I'm just
him.
like obsessed with this kid. I
I
know
just like,
nothing about him, but it's so
I
cute.
mean, you get obsessed with sports stories. Um, but this is like particularly adorable that he just like knew it in his heart since he was a little kid that he wanted it. And then something that could have totally fucked him up for a while, it just like made him better. Like he is meant
Yeah.
for this.
Oh yeah. And there's like I saw an interview of them being like of someone on the NHL being like, "Hey Connor, are you ready to figure out where you're gonna go?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, it's just kind of a waiting game." And they're like, "Well, for people who are just finding out who you are, why don't you tell us something about you that doesn't have to do with hockey? Like, something that about
Mhm.
your life when you're off the rink." And he was like, "Oh man, well, I love like roller hockey. I love roller skating a lot." Like it was just like he couldn't
He's
talk
like,
about anything but it.
he's like, I love woodwork, but I only make hockey sticks.
It's just so cute. So
That's
anyway, I'm just
adorable.
obsessed with this kid. I love like a prodigy, and I there's something about a Canadian that is so chill too, where
Yeah,
I'm just like he has so much pressure on him, but he's just like
he's vibing
out
out.
there vibing. Yeah, he's totally vibing. So yeah, that's my love for Conor Bedard. What's on your mind, honey?
Your new favorite person.
Yep.
Well, one, I've realized that all of my what's on my mind thoughts come from when I'm in the shower,
Mm-hmm.
every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep forgetting them because I like think in the moment I'm thinking about it so hard. I'm like, never will I forget about this thought. It'll
Yeah.
never leave me. And then like 5 seconds later, I'm like shampooing my hair and I'm like, what was I thinking about? But
I'm
this
sorry.
one, I remembered. I was thinking about time.
Whoa, we are backing up into the metaverse.
Um, no, so I'm in the shower and I have, and I can't even think of what it is now. That like one TikTok song that went viral. Um, I can't
I
think of how it
mean,
goes. I can't think of the melody, but it's like, where's all time gone?
I don't
Where's
know.
the time go? Something like that. Anyways, but I was thinking about that and how stupid it is that we say like, ugh, where did the time go? Or like, spend it wisely. You only get so much time. It's like so weird that we think of it as a currency of something we have and that we
Mm-hmm.
spend.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not the 2000 Justin Timberlake movie, even though that is such a good movie. That's like not how life works. Like
Mm-hmm.
we don't we don't have a bucket or wallet of time and we like dish it out. We are literally gaining it every second. Like, oh, that second went by. I just
Mm-hmm.
got a second because I just experienced it.
I don't
Like
know that you can ever
that's
have a second.
that,
I don't actually think that you
well,
ever
whatever. It's
have
like
time.
I'd like, oh, that minute. I just now I have it now. I have 32 years, 2 months, like 10 days. I don't have no idea what day it is. I
Hmm.
have them because I earned them, because I experienced them. And I
You
have,
have memories. You don't have
no, no, no.
time.
But then time does not exist because you never did, you weren't born with time. You could have literally died right away. Like you
Yeah,
have,
and then you had no time.
no, no, you had however much time. You had seconds, minutes. Everyone ends up with different
Mm.
amounts of time. You end up with the amount of time. You don't start, no one starts with like a set amount of time. They didn't like use it wisely. We're thinking of it in the reverse. You are not starting with an amount, a finite amount. You're literally we had a great time. You had it. You have it. You take it. You take the time and the time is yours now.
My
And
brain
it's
is
yours forever.
freaking out. I'm
No,
freaking out.
but isn't it such a sweeter way of looking at it instead of being like, oh my God, I just wasted all this time. It's like, I didn't go do something else. You didn't waste it.
What? No, that I don't understand.
No.
You did no, no,
Maybe that's not what you
no.
wanted to be doing, but you did it. And now and you have that time. Maybe you don't love what you were doing during that time. You might have not liked that you didn't like move or do whatever the thing you want to do, but
Mm.
you didn't spend time on it. You gained time, you just didn't like what that time equated. Like maybe sometimes our pennies, sometimes $100 bills. You like we put different value on the time we
I
gained.
see what you're saying. You're saying that spending time is not a real thing because you
It's
did never have it.
fake. I don't have it to give. Again, I am not Justin Timberlake with my little thing on my hand that I scan and they go, here's an apple. That's five
Well, no, okay,
minutes.
no. I have it.
Time
So
is not a
then
currency.
a pushback to you is that
Do
when
it.
people say, what are you going to give your time to? What are you going to like, will you give me your time?
Those are just phrases that we've made up that are wrong and stupid
Why though? That doesn't, I
because
mean,
they
you
make you
are
feel
using
scared.
any
You
time that you will have to,
sure, sure, but it puts it in a
you're
really
pre,
negative light. I think. I think we can look at it in a much more positive light instead of wasting or spending time on things. You earn the time. It is now yours because
So what would you
you
say
like to have
instead
it.
of like, I want to spend time with you on Friday?
I would like to gain time with you on Friday.
It sounds cute, but it's not clicking.
Because you're not used to it. Because we've all been saying this rubbish for too long.
I want to
Honey, it
gain.
makes sense because you cannot spend something you don't have. The house could collapse and I could die right now. And it's like, I'm just out of time. But I thought like I was thinking about my time that was going to happen next week. No, I didn't get it. I wish I had time. I want it. I wish I had more time. The only way to get time is to live and do stuff. You're not giving up money. I wish I had more time is not like, oh, I wish I had this pocket of time to give away. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more moments that I get to experience and live. I wish I could collect them like little Pokemon.
But the way that you choose to use those experiences is the way that you are spending your time.
No, but you're not spending it because you won't have it. You can't
No,
spend
okay, wait,
it.
wait, wait. But what if every second it's not more time or less time? There's just you get time. Like 1 unit of time is every second is a unit of time.
Yeah, you get it. You
So,
get them, and maybe you don't like what you got during it, and that's okay.
okay, that's wild.
Listen, it makes sense, and I want all my little peepees out there to back me up because it makes so much sense. We do
I
not
just think
give
that
time,
you
we get
do
time.
still spend your time.
I love getting time with you. I love I love getting time with you.
Okay, that I can
That's the
understand.
thing
I
we that
getting.
but you get it because that is something we actually say. The only reason you're not getting it is because our little baby brains cannot comprehend things that we have just been told the opposite. I'm just saying, we got to change it. We just got to change what we're doing.
I'm just saying the way that you're saying it, the way that you're saying gaining time is not landing for me.
Okay, people are going to listen to this podcast. They just gained an hour of laughs,
No,
of
they okay. No,
knowledge.
now you're
Because now
now
they
that's I'm off.
experience something and now they can use it. You can't use you don't have the time. You can't use it. But I can now
No, you
use
spend an hour
I can
listening to this podcast.
you're wrong and I'm mad. Let's move on.
Okay, go ahead. I
um
would love to gain my next few moments with you telling me our gossip story.
yeah, well, let's do it. I'm going to bless you with some time earned
You
listening to
can't give it to me. You don't have
juicy
it. You can't give
juicy
it to
well,
me.
no, because I'm giving you the story. So the time is now replaced with the story. You got the story. Just
Bro,
shut up.
you're losing it. We've
Shut up.
lost her. Okay. Tell me what one of our little PP
Oh my
listeners is
god,
going
baby.
through.
This this is
I'm
wild.
ready.
Oh my god.
I
Okay.
turned my air in my hotel room down to 66 and I
You're
am a
insane.
cold.
You love that shit. You love being
I'm
so
freezing.
chilly. Okay, you ready for this?
Yes, please.
Our little baby PP, Isabel, is 28.
Isabel.
Isabel.
Okay, hit me.
And
Isabel.
she
What's she up
just
to?
got out of a serious 6-year relationship.
Eek.
I know.
Long.
So naturally, 6 years, we can all do the math here from 22 to 28.
Shame. That's a lot of growing up.
That's a lot of growing up, which is exactly why it didn't work out.
Mm.
It's like that's a hard time to grow with someone. And I think we've
Mm-hmm.
given advice to somebody on the pod before. It can happen, but that's tough. And I think they both realized that they were kind of like growing in different directions
Yeah.
and at different life paces. They were gaining time differently.
Bro, you're going to
and
send me off this wherever I
and
am.
they decided to part ways.
Okay. Sad.
So
Mutually?
it sounds pretty mutual, but there's still a lot of heartbreak. So much heartbreak that our poor little Izzy baby took about a year to be ready to like jump back into the dating
I could
scene.
see that. We get
Yeah.
like that sometimes.
Yeah. So actually, she might have been dating this person from 21 to 27, and now she's 28. It's a little unclear on the timeline, but basically, 7 years.
I will say, if we broke up, I might take a year just to.
Go suck a dick.
Oh,
Taryn,
sorry.
from
Did I say a year?
Let's-
Sorry, I meant a month. Woo.
I'll take 5 minutes, just like your nightmare last night.
I was just
Of
going
you
to
and
say,
Dua
this is
Lipa's
actually
boyfriend.
reminding me of my nightmare where you were fucking Dua Lipa's boyfriend. I was so pissed. Same day we
Yeah,
broke
you'd
up.
be like Anwar over there, be like, I can't breathe.
Okay,
My
go
new
ahead.
favorite internet meme.
Back to Isabel.
Back to Izzy. She needs us. Okay. So she's not ready to date. She takes a year to gather herself. Kudos to her. And now
As one does.
she's ready. She's ready to get back in the game. So
Okay.
her friend invites her to a little game night. Sounds like a mixing of friends situation. So she's excited. Go
Always
meet new
fun.
people,
Yeah.
vibe out, play some games. And right away she gets there and she meets Reagan and they just hit it off. Like,
Reagan, hot. Izzy and Reggie.
yeah, I made up these names. So
Well, I'm having a great time in this fanfic.
I was Googling like names that are similar energy to,
Oh my God. Okay,
but I didn't
cool.
like them. So I picked my own. Anyway, so yeah, they're like having inside jokes right away. They're
We love
being
that. That's such a good
flirty.
sign.
They're touching each other's arms, like the whole bit. So Isabel is like, hell yes, this is just what I needed. I'm playing games. I'm drinking. I'm flirting with this babe. This night's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So the night starts winding down. Everyone's starting to say their goodbyes. And as she goes to hug Reagan goodbye, Reagan slips a little cheeky note in her pocket. She
Hot.
opens it, it has her number on it with like a little heart, and she's just like on cloud nine. This night cannot get any better.
Wait, that's actually really cute as fuck that she like
So
you know what I
cute.
like to picture? The fact that Reagan is gaining time at this party, writing her number down on a little piece of paper, like in the corner, being like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. That's
Yeah.
so fucking cute.
Yeah, like when did she do this? Was there paper during the games and she like kept one? Like envisioning this is adorable.
Adorable.
So since Isabel's been out of the dating scene for what, like 7 years now, she doesn't really know all the roles of like how to play it cool, when's too soon
Yeah.
to text back. Do I wait a few days? Do I text her right now? So she splits the difference like any good lesbian and texts her the very next morning.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say at least 3 days, but no.
But
3 days is
Reagan
too long. I
Reagan
wouldn't even name that.
responds, yeah, you would not. Reagan responds in lightning speed. Like
Of
she's
course.
like sat there staring at her phone, like, when is she gonna text me? So they're very much so on the same page. So it's totally fine.
Love that.
So they start texting and they are texting every single second nonstop over the next
Cute.
week. Like
Cute.
literally the second they wake up, they're falling asleep texting, like not finishing sending the text. Like it's
So fucking cute.
we're going there. We're fully going there. Pure lesbian bliss.
I love that time in a relationship too. It's just
It's
so like blood is coursing.
And I feel like with girls dating, it is like that giddiness that you have in like high school and middle school, but we do it as adults.
Yeah,
And it's really
sweet.
cute. And it can be toxic and bad, but it's very cute and very fun.
Cute toxic.
Yeah, exactly. So Isabel's a smart girl though. So she stalks Reagan's social media for any red flags. And she discovers that she also recently got out of a serious relationship. She's not really worried because she's like, I'm not gonna raise a red flag when I have that same flag. So we're good. All she cares
Right.
about is that they don't have any mutual exes. So as far as she's concerned, she struck gold.
Oh God, I'm so nervous.
Friday comes up and Reagan asks Isabel if she has any plans for the weekend. They're like literally, oh wait, I lost it. Okay. Oh, yes. Isabel is off on Saturday. She's like, this cannot
Love.
be more perfect. They make plans.
Okay.
So they go to a restaurant, and the initial sparks from the weekend before are just enhanced. They're driving.
Oh my God, I
first.
thought you were gonna say they're not there.
No. They're way more intensified. Like
Obsessed.
Isabel is like in love, ready to wife her up, buying a ring right now. Like she's like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
So they're being all cute and sharing their Sunday. And Reagan asks if she wants to come meet her dog. Like a smooth little, you want to come over and meet my dog?
I've had that happen to me before.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good trick. So they go back to, quote unquote, meet the dog and just like watch a movie,
Classic.
hang and bang. But when they get there, Isabel is surprised to see that there are two dogs, not just one.
The
And
ex
she's
is
like, who's the other doggy?
oh puppy.
And she's like, oh, it's my roommate. So she's like, fuck yeah, two dogs for one. Like again,
Oh no,
this is too good to be true.
it's
We're
not true.
vibing. So they go to Reagan's room and they're like, hanging out, they're
Getting
having a
sassy.
ball. And the roommate knocks on the door and they're like, oh God. And she's like, do you guys want some homemade chocolate chip cookies? I'm like, nothing can go wrong unless this girl gets murdered because it's
No, this bitch is dead. The roommate's the ex.
so yeah, they're like, hell yeah, let's refuel. We'll get right back into our little hang and bang.
Were they
like-
banging or like were they being
They were like
kissy
getting
and
there, I think,
cute? Okay.
So they like get decent and they open the door and Isabel is like, why does this girl look familiar? Like I know this person. And then it clicks. And who do you think this is, Taryn?
It's the ex.
Yeah, you're right. It's the ex. It is her ex from their long-term relationship, not just
That
this
still
quick
lives there.
shorty, Katie. Yeah. So no one says anything. It's just like
Fuck.
this awkward elephant in the room that Reagan doesn't think Isabel even sees. It's just fucking awkward, but she doesn't know what to do because this is, keep in mind, their first date. So she like
What a
doesn't
fucking
want to.
psycho for bringing them cookies. Psychotic move.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she's trying not to freak out. She's like, this is so perfect. So they get back to hanging out, vibing, and they're like having sleepy kisses. They're like going to bed. And all of a sudden, Reagan's phone rings. And Isabel can hear the other person on the other line. They're like, sound really distressed. So she's nervous. And Reagan's like, sorry, I'll be right back. She's like, God, I hope everything's okay. But she can hear Reagan in the other room talking to Katie. So she's like, what the heck's going on? So when she comes back in, she's visibly upset. And now it's
What?
like, we got to just talk about this because this is weird. Like, you're upset. You were just talking to Katie, who I know is
Yeah.
your ex. So she's like, what the fuck is going on? And basically, Reagan's just like, oh, we're stuck in our lease. I can't afford to get out of it. Like,
Oh my
again,
God.
classic. Like, there's nothing we can do. I'm stuck in it for a year.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. But please don't worry. There are absolutely no feelings there. It is like
oh,
strictly financial, logistical purposes that
then
my
explain to
ex
me
and I
why they
live
were
in.
fucking fighting in the living room.
So,
Are you gonna explain that to me?
well, let's just find out. Actually, that specific argument, we don't know if they were arguing. We can
Oh
actually,
fuck.
I'm
But
sorry.
we know that little Exy was getting wildly
Little
distraught.
Exy. Yeah. So Isabel lets it go, but in the back of her head, she's like, whoa. This
Yes,
might
fucked
be
up.
a really big red flag and get a little messy.
Does she sleep over?
I believe so. Yes, yes, yes. I
Okay,
believe she
well,
did. I
at
believe it
least she
wasn't
got at
a
least
big enough red flag,
at
but
least she got the bag.
she literally like buried the red flag under the bed and was like, we'll deal with that tomorrow. So they keep dating.
It waved straight out the window.
And she's like, whoop. Let me just push that out of the way. So they keep dating over the next few weeks and they're having a fucking blast. They're so happy. They're hanging out
Okay.
constantly. They're having sleepovers, the whole shebang. It is literally perfect besides the ex.
Okay.
Katie is constantly texting or calling Reagan when they're hanging out, asking
What
when
a
she'll be home,
fucking
asking if she can take her dog out. Just there's just always something for her to like have a purpose to call or text.
she's
It,
just always finding a reason to
mhm.
yeah, I get that.
It even gets to a point where one night they're laying in bed. It's like a
Mm.
weekday late at night. And
Katie and
Katie,
Reagan.
no,
I'm
baby.
joking.
So they're laying in bed, and Katie calls Reagan and is like, hey, can you go to the grocery store for me? I really need such and such, but I'm not going to make
No.
it before they close.
No.
They go. Isabel and Reagan go together. And
Reagan's a sucker.
they're like laughing about it. They're like kind of poking fun at how insane her ex is and like this is such a crazy thing. Like Reagan isn't really giving her any reason to be worried. Like she's with her in these moments. So she's like,
This
what's
is
going on? Yeah.
sucker behavior.
Yeah. Mm. So
Oh.
yeah, I know. It's a little it's uncomfortable. And like at this point when she's going to the grocery store, she's like, this is uncomfy. I'm not liking this. But there's still like this is only a couple weeks in. We're still honeymoon phase in it.
Yeah, where she can't be like, hey man, this is like a little fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So
she's just like all vibes, kissing, loving, being cutes and stuff. And it's like, whatever. If I think
exactly.
I would rationalize it at that point and be like, if you're this comfortable doing this stuff with me here, then
Yeah.
you really must be over it. And we're just being funny about it. And that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like pretty much all the info we've gotten so far. And Isabel is just nervous. She's like fearing that Katie still has feelings for Reagan or that she's like kind of trying to come in between them or get rid of Isabel. And she trusts Reagan, but like she just has this doubt in her heart and like she's just scared, rightfully so. And she's just really nervous once they kind of like move out of this honeymoon phase. Like, is it going to
Mm-hmm.
become a bigger problem if they have a fight and the roommates are like, it's just getting kind of spooky. And she like just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
want it to become a bigger issue. And she doesn't understand why neither of these girls have ever heard of boundaries. So, what should she
That's
do?
it. We don't know what happened.
No, she needs advice, honey. This is why
Okay,
this
yeah,
is
she's here.
not
She's here.
a gossip only podcast because we have to help them too, and then we get the rest of the gossip.
That's fair. Well, you're not in the wrong. I'll tell you that. What's our
No,
girl's name? Isabel.
it's
Isabel, I'm spooked for you. And also, I can see how we got here.
totally.
We've all been there. We've all been like, uh-oh, I'm going down a little bit of a windy road.
Like, I'm just gonna ignore that. Oop,
Yeah.
ignore that. No. And then you're like, whoa, how did I get into this spooky haunted house? And it's like, because you ignored the 8 clowns with chainsaws walking in.
Yeah, and then you're standing in the checkout line getting like chocolate chip cookie dough for your fuck buddy's ex, and you're like, well, here I am.
I bet you're wondering how I ended up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that if you guys have been going out for like a steady month at some point, I'd be like, hey, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room with like this is getting a lot. And
Yeah.
I'm not liking how much you guys are still intertwined in each other's lives. Like there's got to be some level of boundaries here. And I think that I would just see how they respond to that conversation. If it's like, I'm
Totally.
sorry, this is like my best friend, or I'm sorry, like it's just too hard right now. We're just trying to figure it out. I get that it's weird, whatever. I still might not love that. But if they like actually starts, if Reagan starts actually putting up some solid boundaries, I would proceed with caution
Yeah.
and keep cruising.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like we're giving Isabel the advice right now. So I cannot tell Reagan that she needs to step it up and put some boundaries up. Like I can't say
But
that.
I'd
So what
love to.
but because you can't do that and as Isabel can't force her to, Isabel needs boundaries because I know she's going,
Mm-hmm.
why don't these girls have boundaries? But sis, you're not having any boundaries right now either. You're not
Mm-hmm.
protecting yourself. Like we can't just expect people to not create these like scary situations that we don't want to be in. They're going to happen. All
Yeah.
we can do is control what we can. And she isn't doing that. She's not setting her boundaries. I would flat out set my own and go, listen, I'm starting to get pretty uncomfortable with this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I get that you guys have to live together. That's a shitty situation. You don't need to be texting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to be doing favors. I get that you both have dogs. So, yeah, if she's not going to be home until late, you're taking your dog out, of course. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we set a calendar for that so there doesn't need to be constant communication about it. Like we need to find ways where this isn't happening. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's making me really uncomfortable. I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy you. I bet they're saying this already. So I love you.
Yeah.
and
I'm married to you.
and I love where this is going, but this is getting a little out of hand. So we need to find
Yeah.
a way to make this a little more comfortable for everyone involved until this lease ends. Or find someone to take over your lease. I don't
Yeah,
really
that's
like the lease
bullshit.
excuse. I think it's kind of lame that
Mm-hmm.
if you want to not be in that situation, you don't have to be in that situation. I think it's like a cop out that you just don't want to deal with it, that it's like an inconvenience. But if you care about someone, you inconvenience yourself and deal with it.
And I feel like people think that like if you break a lease, you go to jail, but it's like you pay what, $200 one time?
Uh, I don't know. I think they'll like charge you for the rest of your lease sometimes. I think it can be pretty
I
intense. I think
don't
they can
think
sue you.
that they're that. I think if you're past like your year mark and you're like month to month or so, I don't know. I think there's
Well, they're
something and
clearly not
they
month
can
to
sue you.
month. They're
Okay,
like
true.
clearly if they have to, I'm assuming they have a year left in their lease, which they must have signed like a 3 year lease. I don't know the details of this lease agreement, but
Bro.
but listen, say, hey, listen, I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna start looking for a roommate to take
Yeah,
over
you
my
can
spot.
find someone to take over your spot.
Yeah. But I can also see Katie, if she is trying to like keep Reagan there, being like, well, I don't want to live with someone I don't like. And then anyone Reagan tries to be like, this is a perfect candidate to live here. She's going to find an excuse of why they're not good.
That's so lame. She's like, I don't want to live with someone I don't like. I want to live with someone I love. And it's you, bitch, my
Yeah.
ex.
What I could also see them doing, and I don't want them to do, so I'm scared to even plant this in their little brains, is
Little
Isabel.
brains. Whoa,
We
you went
we
down.
all have little brains. Is Isabel moving in and taking over the lease?
Whoa, she's hiding. Um,
Because like no, 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 don't do that at all.
don't do that.
I'm just wondering
Don't do that.
if
Don't even
they
listen.
if
Don't even
they if
hear
they
that.
say that, but then like maybe Reagan finds a new I think Katie and Reagan need to sit down and go, listen, one of us has to leave and take over the lease.
100%.
How do we want to do this? Would you like to stay? And I will help you look for a new roommate, and let's say we have 3 months to do that, whatever, put a time limit on it. Or you go and you give me X amount of time until I find somebody to take over. But this living with the ex, you knocking on my door where I'm having sexy time on a first date to give us cookies? Weird.
I would also be like, if I was Isabel, I'd be like, listen, I'm not going to be happy if you keep answering her phone calls and her texts while we're together. I'm not down with that. Like,
yeah, especially not together, but also you don't want to be sneaky and be like, you're only talking when you're not together. That's scary too.
no, but I would be like, when I am literally with you and I look over and you're texting your ex that you also live with, I'm not going to be happy, and you're going to need to figure
what is there
out
to talk about?
how you can put those boundaries up for yourself. And if Izzy doesn't see Reagan start to build those boundaries, that would be the biggest ick for me. I'd be like, bitch
100%.
is juvenile. The
Yeah.
fact that this is happening. I mean, we're like, when we first started dating, I was living with my ex. We were in like that situation basically, but there was other people there, which made it a little bit better. But like, that was messy. And like, I feel like you were very good at being like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I had to lay down the law a couple times because y'all did have a spare room, but y'all
That's
were
a
sleeping in the same bed. So it's kind of
that's a
worse.
different scenario. We did not have a spare room. We had half of the apartment and the other couple had the other half. So they used both the rooms, but only one to sleep in. And
Like
it
I
was
said, Izzy baby, do not take excuses.
I mean,
There's
totally.
where there's a will, there's a way.
And
There are
then
couches.
we started figuring it out, and look at us now. It obviously worked, but like it worked because I mean, I think a lot of it worked because Cam like really said her boundaries and was like, I'm not down with like, if I call you and I hear you like talking to your ex in the background, that's like gonna piss me right off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was weird.
and it did.
Yeah, and like I really relate to Izzy in this, where I like didn't want to not be chill as we're getting into a relationship and like starting something. I didn't want to be a hard ass. I didn't want to like push you away as well when you're literally going to bed next to your ex. It was like, oh, I'm just gonna like push her into her arms. Like that's scary.
Push her into her arms. What'd you say? What?
But like if you push somebody too much in the beginning, like you don't know how someone's gonna react. Like that's a scary thought. Like,
oh, I see. Okay, I thought you meant that literally. I was confused.
no, but like
No.
that's so spooky. So I completely get Isabel being afraid to set those boundaries, but nothing's gonna change unless you do, because especially if nothing's going on and Reagan is like, I don't see the problems. I have no feelings for my ex. I 100% love you. I don't see the issue. I'm picking it up to make sure we like keep peace while we live here. What It's nothing. But it's not about that. It's like, I don't care if it's nothing to her. It's something to you, and your person you're dating should respect that. So you got to lay down the law. Izzy baby, little peep peep.
Izzy, please text us. I mean, no, don't. I mean, we're not going to give you our number. But please.
You can text us at 642.
Email us an update. We would love to know what's going on.
Yeah, please. I would like this to feel like my favorite part of Shark Tank, which is the updates years later. So I would also like most episodes to follow up update. Would make me very excited. So send in your updates, people. stayinguppod@gmail.com.
Because just as much as you want to stay up with us, we want to stay up with you.
Get it, baby? All right, well,
Bro,
my sleepy little peepee's got to go to bed. So you go sleep.
You can tell I'm tired, can't you?
You're exhausted. I can always tell because you kind of like zone out a little.
I wasn't zoning at all. Bro, I'm right here.
Ask me anything. No, but I just see you like, it's like, you know, when the brain starts going a little slower and you're like, oof, it's like harder to stay in it.
Yeah, my eyes just get a little heavy. Also, one small thing that I've been noticing, I need to update my contact prescription. But when I am so used to just working at my computer, or like like the farthest thing I see for the most part is like stuff in our house. Then when I go into an office and I'm like trying to look across like a big open building basically, and like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, who is that? I like literally can't see. And I think that
Yeah.
doing that so much in a day, I'm like, whoa, I'm tired.
Your eyes have had to focus and refocus too much.
Just a little baby.
She's just a little baby. All right, guys. We
Are
love
you
you
sad we're
all.
not gonna sleep together tonight, honey?
Yeah, I'm devastated. I don't want to talk about it. Don't even look at me. I'm so
What?
sad. It's not funny.
I know, but why do you get like kind of mad at me about it as if I could do something? You're like,
Because I'm controlling my sadness with anger.
I know,
Oh,
but what could I do differently? Like
oh,
we
nothing.
could.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just like, don't talk about it. I'm sad and vulnerable and a little baby bitch. So shut up.
I love you.
I love you, honey. And we love you
Hey,
guys, and we will
yeah.
see y'all next week. Sleep tight.
Oh, wait. Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Aren't you guys proud of us that I brought this all the way here?
Oh my God,
Uh,
shut up. We're leaving.
no, no. I brought a microphone all the fucking way to San Francisco so that we could not miss a week. Do you know how new this is for us?
So if you haven't left a review
I
yet,
was just gonna say
get
that.
in there.
Yeah, get in there. Thank you.
Get in there. Get in there.
Get
Get
it.
in. Get
Hashtag get in there. Get
hashtag
in.
get so in there. Little
Whoa.
peepees.
No, get your fucking pee pee in there.
No, no. Stop.